comes to your head, and just like you try to get your head on. I'm not the only person who had this kind of observation. I know other people have the same type of thing. They basically start to have their dreams being projected from things like they play in the virtual world. Because, these days we have all those virtual worlds, and people sometimes play Ultima Online or World of Warcraft, things like that. So it's natural for these people to start having these things, cropping into dreams in some way.
Well, thankfully, Little Big Planet hasn't popped into my dreams yet, and I shall inform everybody if it has. Right, Roy, if you've got no objections, I have my household duties to attend, so I'm going to be off, and we'll close the show up. Is there anything else you want to cover quick in passing before we leave the show?
Well, hopefully we can come. If we do a show tomorrow, if we find some time for it, we should cover the ACS law story. We haven't got to today. Got to be distracted.
Yep.
And we have some Linux news, things that we haven't actually gone through. We tend to do the show now about once a week, not because we don't enjoy doing the show or anything, just because we don't find as much time within the year and everything. Back in November, we did an average of a show every 2 days. That's 15 shows in 1 month. So I'm hoping we'll be able to do it more once a week.
Definitely. I think obviously there's three of us. That's normally there's three, so it's three different lifestyles, as it were, and three different sets of commitments that we all have to juggle in order to be at the same place at the same time. Today's a very good example where Gordon comes into the channel about an hour or so after we started to record, and it just didn't work out today that we're all of us together. But certainly after we work more into the year, it'd certainly be nice if we could do a lot more, because there is a lot to talk about, and there's certainly a lot of good things happening in the free and open source world as well. And we're tending more to just concentrate on the main headlines on a weekly show and sort of the bigger stories and putting our opinions forward. So feedback is very much appreciated from anybody who listens to this. Like I say, I just had some feedback during the show from Chips, and we'll be linking his links in the show notes so you can have a read of what he was putting to me at the time. But any feedback is very, very welcome. I know Roy certainly gets a bit, and I get the odd email. And if there's any topics you want to cover, we've got a website which is going to be dedicated to the podcast, which has gone back into development basically through hosting issues. So we've got that to sort out. But in the meantime, the show notes, as they usually are, will be on both mine and Roy's sites, and so will links to the show itself. So if you have any suggestions or any topics you would like us to cover or not cover, let us know. Drop us a line. Roy, if you've got nothing else to add, I don't think we've got a track for today, which is probably just as well, because I prefer it when we're all together to do the new tracks when there's three of us here to introduce a new piece of music. So if you don't have any issue, we will go back to just the standard intro tune that we use, Tom Smith's I Fought the Troll. And I have got to say this, because we say this every time. Thank you very much to Tom Smith, a very, very nice chap. He kindly allowed us to use his music for the show. So his website will be on the show notes, and I would encourage you to go and have a listen to some of the other tracks he does. He's a very funny man, a sort of comedian slash writer slash songwriter, very, very entertaining. So get yourself over to his site and support him any way you can. Roy, if you're happy, we'll end it there. If there's nothing else you want to add.
Yeah, well, just one very small thing. In future weeks, I could, usually the tracks that I play at the end of the show, they come from South by Southwest. It's kind of an expo conference event, whatever. Lots of people presenting their music and trying to spread their names or skills, bands, whatever, swag. And the 2011 collection has just come out. Do you read Torrent Freak by any chance? Do you read it?
Yeah, I regularly read it. Yeah.
So they've just released their 2011 collection, which I think is 4.6 gigs. I read about it a couple of days ago. I think it's 4.6 megabytes of free music. And when I say free, I mean free, as in free to share, free to listen to download, and of course you get it from torrent, because torrent is a very efficient way of getting music, which just shows you how important it is for people who want their music to spread and people who want to share their music. It's important that they have torrent. We played the 2009 and 2010 collections before, at least I was picking some tracks from there. If you're interested in lots and lots of music, of fairly high quality music, you'd be surprised what quality of music they have. These are serious bands, just not the ones of like those who work for Sony or Warner, I suppose. But the 2011 collection is 4.6 gigabytes of free music, and that's going to probably last you for at least a year, until the next year, and get you exposed and get you familiar with groups you would never have heard of. Very talented people too. All I can do to thank them, because it's really not easy to make donations the way you construct media players these days. The way you can try and thank them is to basically spread their work. They have things in YouTube. They usually have their own website somewhere. You can give it to your friends. You can make them better known. You can maybe even contact a few of them. They have MySpace pages sometimes. And the way, I always say, the best way to punish the record companies, those who sue people, and those who try to stifle the use of, even the legal use of torrent, these companies, the best way to punish them is not to get their stuff for free. That's what they would actually like you to do, if in case you don't buy their stuff, is to just completely ignore what they do, and try to spread around an alternative source of music to change the pop culture.
Well, I think this show's proved that the quality of the unsigned independent creative talent, often operating out of a bedroom or a basement, is of higher quality than the stuff that's forced down into our earlobes off the television screen.
We both run, I think both our sites, for example, run WordPress, and they, I think, it has to be MySQL, it has to be in some level. So all of them can be described as not things which grew out of an organization or a big investment of people going around in big groups and trying to put together. Both things actually grew up out of bedrooms in some sense of the word. I'm not sure. I think I think two of the projects I've just mentioned were designed in some way within an academic environment in some way. But the notion of software being better if it's developed in a very controlled group with lots of marketing is just not quite the right perception anymore. Not when it comes to music, not when it comes to software.
Well, I'll try and wrap the show up again. What we'll say then, obviously, Roy, I will leave it up to you. Roy, for the people that don't know, Roy does the remastering and the joining of the file, and he puts it out there on the net kindly. He spends a lot of his time doing that for the TechBytes show. So, Roy, I will leave it completely up to you. You can surprise everybody. I've introduced Tom Smith as the ending track as normal, but if that's not the case and you have something that you'd like to stick on to the end, please feel free to do so, and it'll be a surprise for those people downloading. Directed at the people that have downloaded this show, thank you very much for doing so. It's greatly appreciated that you're listening to us ramble on for our hour or so that we do. It's very rewarding. We appreciate all the feedback, criticism, good or bad. So keep it coming in to us, and if there's anything you want us to cover, please let us know. Hopefully we'll be back later in the week for another extra show with Gordon present, because Gordon's been sorely missed today for the hour or so that we've been talking. And once again, thank you very much for downloading. Have a good week. Start the week tomorrow, so enjoy yourself, and see you very soon.
It's Friday night and I'm gonna get sauce. I fought the troll and the troll lost. I fought the troll and the troll lost. He tried to boss me and was outbossed. I fought the troll and the troll lost. I fought the troll and the troll lost. Underneath his Freeburg Bridge, hoping goats will cross. Quoting Ashcroft and Tom Ridge, I fought the troll and the troll lost. I fought the troll and the troll lost. He's even dumber than Mickey Koss. I fought the troll and the troll lost. I fought the troll and the troll lost. Wouldn't last 2 minutes. David Frost. I fought the troll and the troll lost. I fought the troll and the troll lost. His worldview sounds like pro